Good morning, everyone. We're just gonna wait a minute or so here as people log in, and then we'll begin shortly. Thank you. Again, for those of you that are just logging in, we're going to give everybody else a minute or so here to get in, and then we will begin. All right, it looks like the logins have leveled off. Good morning, everybody. I am Jonah Morrison, a Chief Operating Officer at HealthPass. I would like to thank you all for attending today, as well as to thank Patrice Alvino from Decision HR for presenting this valuable information to you. Before I begin, I wanted to remind everyone of our upcoming HealthPass broker webinar, which will be taking a look into 2022 and will be held next Thursday, October 14th at 2 p.m. I would also like to mention that in the interest of time, we will not be having a formal Q&A at the end of this presentation. However, if you have any questions regarding the material presented today or anything else regarding Decision HR, please enter your questions into the chat box, and we will send out answers to the questions along with a copy of the presentation in the next day or so. Patrice?
Thank you, Jonah, so much for that wonderful introduction. So we've had a few webinars about PEO in the past. Now we're going to go over the basics, and this is going to be a review of some of the last presentations that we've done, but also a great refresher to anyone who's just joining us. So some of the things we're going to be reviewing today are the health insurance through HealthPass PEO, workers' compensation, what is it, and a quick overview. What I think is the most important aspect of using a PEO, which is the HR and payroll. What are some of the benefits to the small business, but most importantly for all of you, what's in it for you and how we can help you sell it as we get into this busy and crazy time of the year. So I just want to take one step back and give a quick overview of who HealthPass PEO and who Decision HR are. We are one of the top 10 privately held PEOs in the country. There's 436 registered and active PEOs that are doing the business that we're doing in the nation. So for us to be part of the top 10 is pretty significant. We have been in business for over 25 years. We have the ability to onboard clients in all 50 states, which is extremely important now that we've got businesses that have employees that are remote and not working maybe in the state that their home company is in, to work with a national PEO that can and allows the ability for these employees to be located anywhere. We have over 32,000 worksite employees across the country. But what really makes us different is that we can compete with all of the other nationwide and national PEOs that you all compete with on product. But where we really excel and differentiate ourselves is on our exceptional service. So let's jump into it today. The first of the three pillars that really hold up any PEO is health insurance. So as you all know, our health product is through Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield. We currently are offering 12 plans, 8 on the EPO PPO network, 2 on Blue Access, and 2 on Connection. Each of these plans have 26 rate bands. So the group is individually written and given a band and a rate for you all to present to your groups. We determine the most appropriate band to price the group in based on a combination of prediction tools on the demographics of the group, as well as using a GRX prescription finder to determine what the most appropriate band is to price that group in. And like I said, all communication goes to you as the broker partner as far as pricing, open enrollment, renewals. They're all communicated to you first because we are truly an extension of you to be able to offer a comparison to your groups. Now, one of the most important questions that we get asked all the time is, well, what do I need to quote? So for the health insurance portion of a PEO, the items that you need to quote are a group health questionnaire, And this is just simple demographic information of the company, and then some questions that you all can probably assist with. Is there anyone on COBRA? Any known medical conditions? Anyone who might be pregnant? We need a dependent level census, and current rates and current plan designs. If you have the renewal, if it's that time of the year, that's extremely helpful as well. But this is all information that you probably have already on your groups. So I'll say this today, and we say this a lot, that if you have a group that you think might be interested in a PEO and you want to just try it out and see how the quoting process works, you think they could be or may be interested and you want to see what the prices come back at. Since this is all information that you probably already have on your groups, you can send it to over to your HealthPass representative, and they will get it to us for quoting so that you can see how the process works. But more importantly, you can see some of the prices that we're given, that we're giving back. So you all know that Empire has an expansive coverage network, especially in this marketplace. They've been a really great partner to us and have significantly grown their PEO book over the years. In 2020, Empire increased the book of PEO business by over 20%, so it's significantly growing. So from the visual here, you know, Empire has the largest and most comprehensive network on their EPO PPO product, which is the bar furthest to the left. But I do want to highlight the bar with the arrow above it. That's their Blue Access network. This actually is the most popular Decision HR plan that we have Empire groups enroll in, because the price point is lower than the EPO PPO, but it still has really great expansive coverage and network coverage for the employees. Ancillaries. So we do have a suite of ancillary products that are available to every group. Of course, you can carve these out if this is something that you don't want to have us offer to your clients. But we've got the Empire Dental and Vision products, Guardian Dental and Vision, Guardian Critical Illness and Accident. Lincoln, we've got their voluntary life, short-term and long-term disability, as well as Blue Star is our 401k provider. So what small groups will really love about this is that some of these products are things that they might have wanted to offer in the past, but didn't have the ability to. Now becoming part of the PEO family, they have the option to offer these to all of their employees. The great news is that we do all of the administration for all of these products, which is very nice to you. And Empire is now offering a bonus. So we've talked about this a few times, but just as a refresher to everyone, Empire is offering a bonus for any groups that go into one of their PEOs, $26 per contract per month. So on a 20 life group, that's an extra $6,240. It can be an Empire open market client that goes into one of their PEOs. And currently there is no end date. So that's not just the first year. That will be paid as long as this bonus from Empire continues. So little extra money in your pocket for all of the work that you do and all of the assistance that you will give this group in not only choosing, but presenting us as an option. So moving on to workers' compensation. What is it? It's so health insurance is the first pillar. Workers' compensation is really the second pillar of why a group would choose a PEO. Workers' compensation insurance is a type of business insurance that provides benefits to employees who suffer any work-related injuries. So keywords here are work-related. These are on-the-job injuries. And mostly this insurance pays for medical care and any wages from lost work or time. Workers' comp coverage helps not only to protect the business, but it covers the employee's illness and workplace injury, and it protects the business from any lawsuits, making sure that they're compliant with any state regulations. Any employers without workers' comp really leave themselves open for the employees to possibly sue for any work-related injuries or illness that are caused on the job. So businesses in our state of New York must have workers' comp coverage for all employees. And these rules differ per state, but in New York, you have to have it for all employees. One employee, you have to have workers' comp coverage. And that rule includes part-time employees and family members covered by the company as well. So again, this provides them protection for any injuries that happened while they're working. It pays for their medical care and any lost time. New York does allow for an exemption for workers' compensation for some businesses with no employees of any kind, no volunteers or subcontractors, but that's extremely rare. Most of the groups that you guys are probably dealing with, it's fair to say that if they've got employees, they're going to need workers' comp coverage. So what does it cover? It covers medical expenses such as hospital visits, medications, or emergency surgeries, lost wages if the employee does not have the ability to work anymore, and it gives them wages while they are still recovering. Any ergonomic conditions or accommodations that they need when they return to work, it will cover that. Disability benefits if the work-related injury causes partial or any permanent disability, and any ongoing care for any physical therapy after the injury. So let's talk about our workers' comp product. So we have AIG or the Accident Fund are our two workers' comp products that we will place our groups in. We are only one of 3 PEOs in the country that has AIG as a program, and we have a significant book of business with them. Our program allows for pooled pricing. So what does that mean? So all of these 32,000 employees that we have across the country, we put them together and we go to AIG for a rate book that's much significantly less than if that small group were to go out to AIG and get rates on their own. And usually the riskier the industry or the riskier the job is that the employee is doing, the more cost savings that we can provide them. Our workers' comp products are pay as you go. So they pay every time they run payroll rather than having to have a large down payment and have to accommodate for those payments maybe monthly or in certain chunks throughout the year. It's pay as you go per payroll. So it allows for the group to be able to budget better. We do all of the claims management for all of our workers' compensation. If someone has an injury, they call us directly and we work with the employee and employer. We also do on-site loss control visits, which is extremely important. So twice a year, a decision HR representative will go on site to the group and we'll walk around and see if they've got any trip and fall hazards or anything that we think could be work-related injury in the future. We will help the group mitigate those risks. So moving on to what I think, like I said before, is the most important aspect of using a PEO. You've got your health insurance, right, which during open enrollment is very high touch. Now you've got workers' compensation, which again, during the renewal process, which is once a year, or if someone gets hurt, you will touch your workers' comp product. But your payroll and HR, you are running every time that you need to pay an employee. This is much more high service, high touch than the other two. So our payroll and work HR includes completely electronic onboarding for the employees. So they get entered into our payroll system and newly hired employees will get a link to complete their paperwork. They can elect their benefits and ancillary options through software as well, making the processing very easy and paper-free for groups if that's what they want. We do all of the W-2 and 1095 preparation for all of these groups. COBRA, FMLA, Section 125 administration is all handled by us in-house. And what really separates us is that we give a dedicated HR support and dedicated payroll support to each one of our accounts. So we still have the ability to give them one specific contact for payroll, one specific contact for HR, so that they can create a relationship with this team so that they understand the ins and outs of the group and they can really create a relationship. Some of the other things that we do from an HR perspective, we give online onboarding support while new hires are entering themselves into our system. We can help with orientation programs, employee development, best practices, and skills assessment. These HR representatives are trained and they're SHRM certified to assist the group if they've got any needs, performance management and performance appraisal assistance. We can help develop developmental programs for the group, give them sample HR policies and forms such as onboarding forms, or if they need to separate with an employee, we will help them through that documentation process. Many small employers won't have a performance counseling process. We can help with that. which not only makes the employee happier in their work environment, that they know and can get constant feedback on the job that they're doing. We give coaching to supervisors and managers for employment matters, but most importantly, we will give these employees a toll-free number so that they can contact us directly so that they have a safe working environment. As part of our payroll and HR as well, EPLI is also included. So EPLI is a requirement for all of our groups, and most PEOs offer this as well as part of their client package. So what does EPLI covers? It covers businesses against claims by workers that their legal rights as employees in the company have been violated. So EPLI stands for Employer Practices Liability Insurance, and it protects the group against any kind of employment lawsuits such as sexual harassment, discrimination, wrongful termination, breach of employment, a negligent evaluation or failure to employ or promote wrongful discipline. The deductible on our plan in New York is $25,000, which is reasonable considering that court-awarded damages for any employee-related lawsuits average $217,000 per claim. So over the last 20 years, employee lawsuits have risen roughly 400%, with wrongful termination suits jumping up more than 260%. So it's oddly enough, you are more likely to be sued by an employee today than you are to have a fire at your business. So we think this is extremely important. It's a huge benefit of becoming part of the PEO family, that we will give the employers this insurance, especially if they don't have it now. Like I said, it's required for all of our groups. If they have their own, they can keep their own, but we do require that they take ours. And it's significantly a reduced price than if they were going to get an open market policy. So what are some of the benefits? We've talked about this wonderful, great Empire product that we have in the multiple plans. Our workers' comp product, how it's lower cost because of our economies of scale and how we help from a workers' comp perspective, checking out their work site to make sure that it's safe. We've talked about payroll and HR and how our support team and support system really supports these small businesses. What are the benefits of using a PEO? So the National Association of PEOs, which is a third party, every year takes some statistics and they take the pulse really on the small businesses in the US. And businesses using a PEO grew 7% faster. These are 2020 specific statistics. They can focus on really growing their business or obtaining new clients rather than having to worry about the administrative tasks that we help with. The average client that is in a PEO has 27 employees. So when you think about that small business owner who got into business to do whatever it is that they're doing, they did not get into business to worry about sexual harassment claims and minimum wage, and making sure that you have your COBRA notifications sent out on time. These are all the administrative tasks that a PEO supports them with so that they can focus on whatever it is that they got into business to do. Groups using a PEO, their employee turnover was anywhere from 23 to 32% lower. Extremely important in the current working environment that we are all living in now. These groups that are using a PEO have the ability to offer so many more things and plans than they do if they're not using a PEO, and it's much more cost effective. So think about that small employer that you might have that's always wanted to be able to offer a 401k, but thought that, you know, the administration behind it or maybe the cost behind it wasn't something that they wanted to get into. They now have the ability to offer those products to these employees to enhance their employee experience and again, lower their turnover. Businesses were 41% more likely to report growth in 2020. Huge statistic, especially with what was going on in the world in 2020 last year. They were 119% more likely to have received a PPP loan. And I bring this up even now because the PEOs help with so much of the reporting aspects for groups. When the government launched and announced that they were going to be giving these PPP, these small business loans out during the pandemic, we had the reports that the groups needed to file and apply for it created before we were even asked. And again, we create a report for one client, we create a report for all clients. So we really help from a perspective of helping them report and helping them be able to track really anything that they need help with. And most importantly, they were 60% less likely to have permanently closed than those groups that were not using a PEO. So huge statistics and just really great reasons why these small businesses, why the PEO business is growing and why these small businesses are looking to us as a solution. So let's get into the good stuff. Let's talk about some commission. You all work very hard for what it is that you do. So I'm sure compensation is extremely important. So our average size case that is currently on our Empire product right now has 25 employees on payroll and 15 on benefits. Our approximate administration fees are about $100 per employee per month, which is right in line with really all of our competitors and lower than some of the names that I'm sure you guys are competing with and aware of, some of the national PEOs. So if these 25 employees are being charged $100 in administrative fees per month, the broker commission back to you guys is 20% of that admin charge. So that's $6,000 in a year in commission from Decision HR. And then another $4,680 from Empire on the bonus that we talked about earlier. So you're not only going to get your commission on the administrative fees that we charge, and don't forget this is on all employees on payroll, not just those that take benefits. So you all do work for those employees that even waive coverage. So this is a way for you to get paid on the entire population of the group rather than just those that are taking benefits. So $6,000 a year in commission is from the administrative fees. And then Empire is kicking in that bonus of $26 per contract per month. So based on those 15 in this example on benefits, that's an extra $4,680. So total commission, little over $10,680 for you on a group of that size. So as we enter open enrollment and renewal season and the fourth quarter crunch, most businesses have an 11/1, 12/1, 1/1 renewal date. So I'm sure you guys are about to get into it if you're not already into it now. I wanted to just leave you with some phrases for you to be on the lookout for. So the biggest question that we get a lot is, well, how do I know that a group might be a good fit for a PEO? And the answer is, they're all a good fit for a PEO. It's really if they need the assistance and the help and want to try and lower some of their costs, like we've talked about during this presentation. So some of the things that, some of the questions or phrases that you can be on the lookout for is if your employer, your client says to you, my workers' comp costs have really risen over the last few years because of, and fill in the blank. We're really great for groups that have had a workers' comp incident, but they're a great group that has really nice controls in place, but they had one person who, fell off a ladder or slipped and fell or sliced a finger. Their insurance rates are going to go through the roof because of that incident. We're really great at some of those groups and helping them lower their costs because, again, we put that employer in our pool of employees. So if they say that their workers' comp costs have risen, this is a huge one. If you're hearing your group saying that they wish they could get more payroll and HR support, many payroll companies do just payroll, which is great because everyone needs them. But if they're looking for that more hands-on HR approach, to have a truly dedicated HR person to their group who feels like an employee of that organization, then we're a really great fit for businesses that are looking for more HR and hands-on support. If they have to call a labor attorney every time they have a simple question, they know that sometimes for those phone calls, they're charged. But we have the ability to have HR specialists that can get them answers that they might not need to call a labor attorney for. We can help walk them through situations and sometimes help them solve problems without them having to get labor attorneys involved. I wish there were a way to maintain benefit costs. I'm sure this is one that you guys probably hear all the time. The health rates never seem to go down. They always seem to go up. But because our program with Empire is large group rates that are offered to small employers, we are anywhere from 8 to 12% lower than the open market ACA quotes from some of the competitors like Oxford and Aetna. So if they're looking to maintain benefit costs, again, you have all the information we need to quote, so go ahead and send it over to us and we can show you what those costs would be. And this is a really important one, but anytime you hear a group say, you know, I wish I could have all of these services under one umbrella, that's really what the PEO is designed to do. We're designed to be a one point of contact for that group for all things payroll, HR, benefits related. So we've got these points of contact for them. And again, to make them feel like they're part of our client base and that we are part of their organization. Your HealthPass team is always there for you to help if you've got questions about groups or if you've got groups that you want us to take a look at. So please make sure that you reach out to any of your HealthPass representatives if you've got questions or if you've got groups that you'd like for us to take a look at. As we enter this open enrollment renewal season, you guys will have clients that get approached by other PEOs. You will have clients that hear about a PEO or know of a friend or a family member or another business owner that maybe got approached by one or quoted by one. We are here as your support system during that process. So if you've got a group that hears about a PEO, we are an extension of you and will help you either compete for that business, win new business, win back business that you might have lost to a PEO, or maybe just offer something to a group that you think would be good as an alternative solution. And like I said, everything, we work 100% through our broker partners. So everything gets communicated to you before we speak to the group. So thank you again for everybody for joining today. We wanted to keep it under 30 minutes, which we did. And thank you for just being open and listening to our presentation about HealthPass PEO powered by Decision HR. Like I said, reach out to your HealthPass representatives if you've got any questions. And good luck in selling season in Q4.